Hey everyone, this is Oz Konar. I am with one of my valued members, Amir, here today. He's my guest on my channel. Hey man, how's it going?
I'm doing well. What about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much. So thank you for making yourself available. I know we're all going through this COVID-19 crisis, and I hope you and your family's doing well. Thanks for
Same for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. So you've been in our community for a couple of months, but before we get into that, I personally want to learn more about you. So what have you been doing prior to the blueprint, and how things are going, and what's your background a little? If you can get into that, that would be great.
My background is in sales. I spent 5 years selling cars in Columbus, Ohio. Kind of got burnt out with that and was just looking for something different. I knew I didn't want to work for anybody anymore. I was just done with it. Went out to Georgia, seeing something on Craigslist for, working from home. It was MCA, but they were targeting just the medical field. So I started working with them. No training, no anything. They just kind of, no leads, nothing. They just said, contact doctors' offices, labs, and pitched them the product.
How were you contacting them? Was it like telemarketing?
Yeah, telemarketing. I would go on like Medicare.gov,
yeah,
and just cold call. I got a few. I hate cold calling though. I hate cold call. I got a few deals that way. But with most of the time, the doctor is actually the decision maker. So back in 2018 of August, I just decided to get on LinkedIn, and I would get connected with them that way.
Because I was going to say that if you're going to do cold calling, like choosing a medical niche is probably the worst idea, because
they're always busy.
Gatekeepers, right? So you have the receptionist, the ladies up front working. Like I hate cold calling too, but I remember my first job when I was selling to dental offices. My boss at the time said, hey, just call them. They're all over the place. You can find them on Google, just call them. But it's almost impossible to get through the gatekeeper. I'd rather call a restaurant on the phone than a medical facility. But nonetheless, I mean, we don't do cold calling. But sorry, go ahead. So you're saying you're done with that, then you move on to.
Yeah, so I moved on to LinkedIn, and didn't know what I was doing, but I just figured I just wanted to get in front of doctors, the decision makers. I don't want to get, like you said, I don't want to go through the gatekeeper and then accounts receivable manager or whoever I had to get to. I just wanted to get to the person that was going to say yes or no. That way I can move on. I now have about 12,000 connections. Most of them are doctors, urgent care owners, lab owners, things like that, lawyers.
And more importantly, decision makers. You're not dealing with the gatekeeper on LinkedIn. You're directly connecting with the doctor, right?
Exactly. So fast forward a year, I signed up with the program back in August of 2019. Excuse me. And just learning with you guys as far as automation with LinkedIn and Facebook, and been able to get deals.
That's awesome. So and when we were doing your LinkedIn, you kind of figured out your own thing, right? So without assistant, you were just, I guess, sending connection requests to doctors, and
I was just sending. Exactly. I was starting conversation. That's it.
And did it help you find any deals that way? Obviously, you're connecting, but did it help the deal flow?
Yeah, not a whole bunch, because I was just shooting in the dark, really.
Right. Because I mean, it's one thing to get decision maker in front of you, but if you don't really have the products, that or the processes, streamlined, it's going to be another level of difficulty, right? So it's one thing, of course, it's way better than telemarketing, obviously, but now you have them in front of you. Well, the question is, what are you going to do with them? That becomes another challenge. Are you currently, so after you joined the Blueprint, are you currently targeting medical facilities still, or is that your niche?
I just kind of said I wanted to help is whoever I can help.
Sure.
And then, but I make more money in medical. You get the bigger deals in medical because of the equipment loans. If you get an imaging sitter or something like that, some of the stuff that they lease, if they miss a lease payment, they can shut them down. Or if you get a lab that's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or a couple $1 million a month, that's a huge deal if they need that type of money. So yeah, I'd like to target them. Yeah.
Yeah, because you might know that Elizabetta, one of our members who's targeting the medical facilities, already like we're halfway into 2020, she's over like I think $200,000 in commissions.
Wow.
Coming from that, and this is continuous commission for the reason that you mentioned. You're not talking about a trucking company buying another truck. This is sometimes an MRI machine is like $2 million. And
exactly.
Like you said, they can't just shut it down and leave. They have their reputation. It's a medical facility. They have to make their payments. So their equipment is way more expensive. Of course, if you're targeting medical industry, the sales cycle is a totally different ball game. So you got to be ready to take your time a little more and have those connections, build your connections in place and things like that. But that niche is just so rich in volume stuff, not volume and the number of deals, but volume as far as the size of the deals. The size of the deals are massively, colossal, and you can make a great living doing that. That's why I was wondering, like, if you're continuing the medical trend or you became more like a generalist, Yeah, I've sold to doctors for many years myself. It's an interesting herd of people, honestly, like different than your traditional business owner.
Sure.
They're not great business owners. The first thing, like they've been to like 8-10 years of medical school. They're really like smart on what they do, what they specialize in. But the way they do business is they got to like you. And they have a tight community. So once you get a deal, I remember when I got my first 2 deals, I ended up getting 15 deals within 2 days. I'm like, crap.
Wow.
I've been cold calling like for 2 months, nothing happened. I sold it to 2 people. They just talk to each other. Like, it's unbelievable. It's like, I've sold in many different niches. Medical is like the one that works. No restaurant owner will call another restaurant owner and say, hey, talk to this guy. Like, it doesn't really happen, although you would like it to happen. But doctors are like a totally different ball game. So I think you're onto something. I highly suggest that you stay with it. But during your time, so I guess soon after you joined, you funded a bunch of deals, one of them happening to be a really, really big one. Honestly, I did an email. It's funny. I did an email campaign yesterday and I was talking about your deal because when you funded it, I totally missed it in the Facebook group. And then you corrected me, said, hey, dude, it wasn't actually like 6,000 something in commissions. It was like 24,000. So can you talk about that a little?
So the deal was actually a lab. We end up getting him $210,000. I believe I got 8 points on it. So it came out to like 16.8. But before I negotiated anything, because it was so hard for me I had to chase him down. I said, hey man, I want to earn your business, but I want to know that you're invested in this and that you're going to respect my time. So if I do get this done, I'm going to charge you 3% of whatever I get you.
Right.
And he knew that. And he was fine with that. And he respected me for just being upfront with him about it instead of saying, hey, I can get it done just like everybody else. I don't know. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. But if I do, it's going to be tough. And it's going to be based off of the relationship that I have with these people. So we got it done. So I got the 16.8 plus he sent me $6,300 the next day.
Wow, that's like what, 23,000.
Yeah,
that's clean. And I think what you've done is great. And so you asked to be paid for your expertise, your relationships, your lenders, and things like that. And I don't think many people understand the value of that, right? This guy would not have gotten the money if it wasn't because of you. Like, you can't just go to Google and just dump his file to anybody and hope that it's going to.
And that's what he was finding out. He was shopping it around, and nobody was getting him anything back.
Right.
And I just happened to keep in contact with him. And I was reaching out to him at the same time he was looking for money. So I just stayed on him.
Yeah, that's one amazing deal. One deal, of course, you put your time into it, and it worked out great for you. And since then, you've been closing deals. Some of them are smaller, and still going on with that. And you've been in the community for a while, and I see you being active here and there and talking to our community members. So what's your experience been with the Blueprint so far ever since you joined?
I think it's helped tremendously. Just having, like I said, I knew that I needed to get on LinkedIn, but I didn't know what to do. I knew that I needed to get on Facebook, but I didn't know what to do. So just having that holding my hand kind of thing while I execute. So I think it's helped me a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Because if I just pull any guy from the street and tell him what are the top online marketing platforms you can use, I think anyone can name, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like it's like sometimes I come across with, they're like, yeah, I know LinkedIn. I'm like, well, have you made any money with LinkedIn? Oh, no, but I know it's good for marketing. Well, knowing that it's good for marketing doesn't do you any good. You got to know specifics on how to use it for a specific business model to generate opportunities to close deals, right? That's important, but otherwise anyone can name any marketing channel to be good. And yeah, it is good. You can use pretty much anything. That's the specialized knowledge part. And you've shown your expertise in the community and for your clients as well. And I suggest that you stick with the medical field because that's just, it's a tough industry, but the payoff is like nothing else. That's massive.
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. And I know, I don't know if you were on the call last night on our weekly call, but we announced that we're working with lenders to have specific lending options for people who've been affected by COVID-19 businesses.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have a live webinar this coming Wednesday, of course, for our members only. I'm going to blast the link out within our Facebook group and through email. So keep an eye on that one. So I'm going to put the VP of the lending institution. I mean, this is the top of the company pretty much. He's going to do the presentation to our members only on how everyone can take advantage of, like you said earlier, normally under normal circumstances, if you knock on the door of a merchant cash advance company, a lot of them will not want to deal with a restaurant who've been impacted by this, right? Because it's revenue based, and well, if the revenue is zero, you don't really have much to base your decision on. So with these type of products, there's a lot more you can do instead of just focusing on the credit score or the revenue. So I'm just trying to make all the members aware of what's happening. So there are specific lending opportunities through private lenders and they've been killing it through this process. So keep an eye on that one. Anything else that you want to add? I know you're busy, so I don't want to keep you long, and I really do appreciate you joining, but anything else I haven't touched on that you can recommend to our existing members and also someone who might be considering joining?
No, I mean, just to follow the blueprint, just follow it step by step, and you should be fine.
Awesome. And I think, our community speaks for itself. Like I'm personally, our Facebook community is amazing with so many members in the area. And a lot of times I hear from members, hey man, that piece alone was really helpful, because it's like Google, you just type in your question and someone jumps in and answers you, right?
Yeah, that and the fact that you're involved yourself. I mean, sometimes you'll buy these programs or you'll get involved and there's not a community or the person that's created the product, like created the blueprint, they wouldn't be involved in the community answering questions and being available like how you are. So,
I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, this is my baby. I'm not doing this just for, let's sell some course. That's definitely not the motivation. As you can see, I'm constantly in trenches with you guys to improve it. I'm on the phone with the lenders, adding new options and things like that. But that's all how we collectively succeed. So that's my life's mission. But again, thanks so much. Unless you have anything else to share, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate your time and help.
All right. Thank you.
Take care now. Bye-bye.